Eastern Washington voters are electing their first new representative for the 5th Congressional District in 2 decades. Republican Michael Baumgartner and Democrat Carmela Conroy went head-to-head. Initial results are showing Baumgartner taking a strong lead. Joining us this morning to talk about this more is Baumgartner's campaign manager, Erich Ebel. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Was it a long night for you?
It was, yeah, it was, but very pleasant outcome. So
Yes. Well, thanks for being here this morning. Last night we heard from Michael after the first batch of results came in, and we talked to him about, how he would move forward now that we know that he has a strong lead against Conroy. Tell us more about what's next for Mr. Baumgartner in terms of uniting the district.
Yeah. First thing he did once he was elected, and the results were clear, is express his gratitude and thanks to his opponent, Carmela Conroy. She ran a good campaign, and it was very spirited. And then Michael proceeded to put out the message that he's he's elected to represent the entire district, and so folks who didn't vote for him, he's still their representative. And so they are encouraged to reach out to him, talk about the issues that are concerning to them, so that he can, best represent them in Congress.
Yeah. So tell us more about some of his goals moving into the new the legislative season coming up.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot going on. We're still trying to figure out the balance of power right now. What are some of his top priorities that he plans to bring to Washington?
Sure. Well, as he's been saying throughout his campaign, one of our biggest priorities is to get control of the southern border. We have to make sure that the people that are coming across our border are vetted and are welcome in this country. We love having immigrants come into this country, but we need to make sure that the right kind of people who need to be here. And we need to stop the fentanyl from pouring across the border. We need to stop the human trafficking that's been pouring across the border for the last 3.5 years. That really, I think, is his #1 priority. And then getting control of the spending at the federal level is really critical at this stage. I mean, our national debt is just ballooning out of control, and Michael Baumgartner wants to be part of the team that helps rein that in and get the federal government to live within its means.
You brought up fentanyl. Kathy McMorris Rogers, long-term representative for our district, that was one of her big pushes in the House. Talk more about what are some of Michael's plans to tackle that issue that we're facing really here and all over the country.
Sure. Well, I think it's important to point out that the fentanyl issue needs to be addressed with a compassionate eye. I mean, folks are suffering because of this drug that's been introduced into our country. And so we need to not take the tactic of just, fighting back and throwing everybody in jail or anything like that. I mean, this is an issue that needs to be dealt with in a holistic way. So both from a criminal justice standpoint as well as a mental health and treatment aspect as well. So I think Michael's going to be focusing on those 2 aspects.
And last night he talked about accountability, and he talked about that he's accountable to all the voters.
Right.
As you mentioned at the top of this interview, what are some ways that voters can hold him accountable during this term?
Sure. Well, again, I think open communication is the best way to get started. Michael's plan is to hold a town hall once a month for the next 12 months, probably one in each county. There's 12 counties in the 5th Congressional District, which stretches from the Canadian border to Oregon and from Idaho almost to the Tri-Cities. There's a lot of folks out there who maybe weren't sold on Michael Baumgartner, and I think as long as they are willing to reach out to him and start that conversation at one of these town halls or calling his office, I think that would be the best way to start.
All right, Erich Ebel, thanks for joining us this morning. We'll be right back.